In recent years, there's been a certain studio opening logo montage that sparks more excitement than the movie itself. And no, I'm not referring to this or even this. I'm talking about a relatively newcomer, barely over a decade old, that has managed to carve out a unique niche for himself. This studio has crafted a distinctive style and image, becoming synonymous with the original stories that lean into this wonderful weird feeling. It is this flair for the unconventional that has gained them dedicated followers, always ready for the next offbeat adventure the moment that logo hit the screen. Over the years, the studio has achieved remarkable milestones in the indie cinema world, particularly at the Oscar.
And the Oscar goes to...
They have won awards across the industry, from Best Documentary to Best Pictures, and of course, this year was no exception.
The Zone of Interest.
And to our partners A24 Film for Access for their trust and guidance.
And it's not just the movie that are getting so much buzz. Fans are buying into the A24 cinematic universe. Literally. From limited edition merchandise to books, you can name them. This studio has turned into everyone's favorite. But how do they do it? For one began as a modest distribution company for indie film, has transformed into a household name at the Oscars and captured the heart of a new generation of movie lovers. This is a story of how A24 became A24 and how they are taking over Hollywood. In an era where the film industry was flooded with big-budget blockbusters and predictable plot, which they still do to now, independent filmmakers faced an uphill battle to make their unique voice heard. To minimize the risk of box office flop, larger studios gravitated to a safe bet, rolling out sequels after sequels, remake after remake, leaving scant space for fresh ideas. Cases like this left audience, including you and me, yearning for something different, new and engaging. On the flip side, independent films brimming with originality and creativity often found themselves in a tight spot when it came to distribution. Lacking the financial backing and marketing muscle of the major studio, majority of indie films frequently had to lean on film festivals as a major platform for visibility. It was in these film festivals that they hoped to catch the eyes of industry insiders and potential distributors in need for their unique narrative to find a wider audience. Then, in 2012, three friends, Danny Kass, David Feckel, and John Hodge, decided to quit their jobs to find a film studio. Getting its name from a highway linking Rome and Paramount, the Autostrada 24, that is A24. This is where Danny Kass came up with the idea for a company that would change the entertainment industry. Their goal was simple and deliberate. Start an indie film company that is centered around film and filmmakers rather than the company itself. A24 started its life as a distributor, concentrating its capital on finished projects that at least had a shot of delivering a return. They had 4 clear strategies: operate like a startup and not as a film business, make smaller bets, give filmmakers the creative freedom they need. Instead of spending millions on traditional marketing, use cheaper, viral forms of marketing. So with this, all they need was to look for any indie film with bold and unique story, buy the right to the film, and then find a way to distribute it. And they found one: Spring Breakers. This was the genesis to the A24 style. Directed by Harmony Korine, it was probably the first encounter many had with A24, and it stood out for so many reasons. Beyond the shock of seeing beloved Disney stars cast against type in gritty, uncharacterized scenarios, there was something mesmerizing about the film aesthetic. It captivated audience with its heavily stylized visuals and vibrant neon lighting. This style would end up becoming associated with A24. Although the film had a lot of mixed reviews, there was no denying it brought something fresh to the table. With a low budget of $5 million, the film ended up making $32 million in box office sales. Quite impressive for an indie film, right? After the success, A24 went on to discover more bold, original yet crazy stories from upcoming indie filmmakers. In 2015, A24 made waves by distributing a trio of standout films, each distinct in genre and storytelling. Ex Machina, a sci-fi thriller that got us to see the complexity of artificial intelligence. Army, a deeply moving documentary, offered an intimate look at the life and legacy of the talented Amy Winehouse. Meanwhile, Room, a gripping thriller, told the heart-wrenching story of a 5-year-old boy and his mother living in captivity. The three films that year gave A24 their first Oscar award: Ex Machina for Best Visual Effect, Amy for Best Documentary, and Room for Best Actress.
I'd like to thank A24 for taking this movie into their hands and sharing it with the world.
But the real turning point for A24 arrived in 2017. After 4 years of distributing films created by others, they took a bold step by deciding to produce their own very first movie, Moonlight. It was a risky bet on Barry Jenkins, a director who at the time had only just one feature film to his name, released 8 years ago. Well, let's say this bet ultimately paid off, as the film went on to win 3 Oscar awards that year, including Best Pictures.
Even in my dreams, this could not be true. But to hell with dreams, I'm done with it, because this is true.
Ever since their bold move with Moonlight, A24 continues to gather an impressive collection of Oscar nominations and victories. However, their most monumental success was in 2023, that year, with standout films like Everything Everywhere All at Once and The Will. A24 achieved an astonishing feat by securing 7 Oscars from 18 nominations in a single year.
Mom, I just want an Oscar!
The remarkable achievement set a new industry record, making A24 the first company ever to clinch the top 6 awards in a single Oscar night, cementing their reputation as a powerhouse studio capable of not just competing with, but outshining the giant of the film industry.
So this award is ours.
And yet, despite the success, A24 had its shares of films that didn't quite hit the mark at the box office or with audience, such as Revenge of the Green Dragons, which received a poor return of 15% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, it's true that no studio, no matter how innovative or successful, is immune to misstep. But we can also say that A24, even with their bad movies, we tend not to notice because of their impressive track record. So, what makes A24 stand out from the other film companies and studios? First, their trust in talent. From the get-go, A24 has always championed the creative freedom of the filmmakers they collaborate with, giving them the trust to explore their creative vision. They position themselves not as overseers, but as partners in the creative process. This approach involves actively seeking out emerging filmmakers who bring something new and unique to the table, then equipping them with necessary resources and support to bring their vision to life. While this project might not always carry the immediate allure of big-name stars or directors, they possess something arguably more valuable, an unfiltered, fresh perspective that will always stand out. Though these ideas could be weird most times, but A24 are willing to take the bet. To be honest, which other film studio would be excited to distribute a film about a man riding a corpse like a jet ski? Sway's Army Man, the debut of directing duo The Daniels, led to a series of walkouts at Sundance Film Festival. Despite major studios shying away due to its unconventional storyline, A24 acquired the right to Sway's Army Man. 6 years later, the same directing duo, The Daniels, collaborated with them, making Everything Everywhere All at Once, which surpassed $114 million at the box office, scooping up 7 Academy Awards in the process. A24 use what they call the creative formula. They support filmmakers to tell distinct and emotionally genius stories from a personal perspective and use their experience and credibility to find the right audience and also their marketing technique. They have helped discover and launch the career of directors like Ari Aster, The Daniels, Robert Eggers, and Greta Gerwig, who recently got the recognition of a bigger studio making her the director for the Barbie movie. Secondly, their narratives and artistic approach to storytelling. The heart of most A24 films lies in their character-driven narrative, often explored through a subjective point of view. You see, each story is told based on the character's emotions and experiences, inviting viewers to see the world through their eyes. To achieve this, A24 employs intricate plot structures and expressionistic techniques in cinematography and lighting. This method is not just about showcasing the world, but about capturing and conveying the unique perspective of the characters within it. If you take a closer look, you see that every frame in Moonlight was carefully crafted to capture the depth of the characters' emotion and the complexity of their lives, making it as much a visual masterpiece as it is a narrative one. Similarly, the groundbreaking series Euphoria serves as another prime example of A24's unique approach. It might come as a surprise to many that it's an A24 movie, but once they find out, it just makes so much sense. The creator of Euphoria aimed to achieve what they call emotional realism, a portrayal that showcases the highs and lows of teenage life. The use of color, lighting, and camera angles act as a bridge connecting the viewers to the character and what they're going through, creating that scene of empathy and relativity. This subjective means of cinematography can be seen in most of the film, although some lesser.
I'm not pretty, I'm good looking.
Thirdly, let's talk about A24's unconventional marketing approach. Remember when we discussed how A24 stand out with its unique principles? One of the key ways they do this is by creating buzz through cost-effective, non-traditional marketing methods. It's particularly intriguing because despite being lower in cost, these tactics prove to be incredibly effective, especially among the younger crowd. Take Spring Breakers, for example. A24 managed to generate significant hype for the film using meme and GIFs. But what really caught everyone's attention was the iconic image of James Franco in a scene inspired by The Last Supper, captioned, "On Friday, be good, we're serving you a set." It quickly went viral on Facebook. Another standout moment in A24 marketing genius was during the 2015 XXXW festival with their theme Ex Machina. They took to the dating app Tinder, creating a profile for the lead character, Ava. When Tinder users engage with Ava's profile, she directs them to her Instagram page, which features a trailer for Ex Machina. The clever strategy not only generated buzz, but also brilliantly tied into the film theme of artificial intelligence, making it as thought-provoking as it was buzz-worthy. Also, a similar creative flair was seen with The Witch, where they created a Twitter account for the film's unforgettable character, Black Phillip the Goat. The account not only attracted followers but also interest for the film. Just recently, with the release of Civil War, A24 employed the use of AI images to create a dystopian representation of locations in the US that has been impacted by war. However, this bold marketing move hasn't been warmly received by their fans, resulting in some backlash over the use of the technology. Well, let's say A24 isn't new to controversies. Fourthly, let's get into A24's commitment to bold stories, especially when it comes to diversity and controversial topics. A24 has never been one to play it safe. Over the years, they've consistently pushed the envelope, choosing to invest in films that provoke thought and challenge conventional narratives.
At some point, you gotta decide for yourself who you're gonna be.
In Moonlight, we saw a bold approach to the story of a young black man named Cheryl as he navigates his identity, sexuality, and the challenges of growing up in Miami. This type of story has never been told on screen this way. Another standout reference is their recent film, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, where we could see the experience of immigrant families and struggle for acceptance, which we know the rest of the story. Whether it's in these topics, they see their themes as a voice, and in return, their audience believes in them. Over time, we have watched as older indie film companies have attempted to capture the same magic that has defined A24's success. Trust me when I say many, but there's this particular studio that seems to be catching up with A24, Neon, which came into the scene in 2017. Like A24, Neon has shown a talent for identifying promising films and winning over creators.
제시카 외동딸 일리노이 시카고 과선배는 김치모 그는 이사촌.
It successfully obtained the distribution right to the last 4 Palm d'Or winners at the Cannes Film Festival. Parasite has been Neon's highest grossing film to date, pulling in over $200 million at the box office, and winning 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. While Neon has not yet reached the level of A24 fan obsession, there are ones to watch, even recently launching their own merchandise line, Parasite Family T-shirt. This is to show you the impact A24 has on indie filmmaking and cinema in general. A24 has now become what seems to us like a genre of good movies. It has become a brand unto itself, celebrated for its weirdness, distinctiveness, and style. The logo at the beginning of the film is like a stamp of approval for the film, a signal to the audience that they are in for a different but interesting ride. This shows that A24 is actually doing something right, and I think bigger studios should learn from them. Recently, A24 made a surprising announcement that has sparked quite a bit of conversation among its fan base. The studio revealed plans to venture into action and IP projects, moving away somewhat from their well-known focus on character-driven dramas and author-driven films. This pivot has certainly raised some eyebrows and even caused panic among their most loyal followers, including myself. At this point, all we can do is hope that this new direction doesn't lead them astray from what has made them so special to so many of us. As we wait to see how the shift unfolds, I'm curious to hear from you all. What's your favorite A24 film? Drop your thoughts in the comment section and don't forget to subscribe for more engaging discussion on filmmaking. Lights, camera, films.